they're fascinated with your full head of hair. They're like, Stark has hair. What? Looking
Uh,
very dapper. Very
I did
dapper.
manage. I wouldn't say I fought for it, but there was that episode where I kept my hair because I came back for an episode. I think it was the one Ben wrote,
Was
where
it the
I'm this avatar.
Is it the
Was it?
John Quixote one?
I think it was, or was it another one? I can't
Or
remember. But
Green
they
Eyed
said,
Monster?
I said, can I keep my hair or should I cut it? And they said yes. And I regret that now because I look at that episode and pictures of that, and I think that's not doesn't look like Stark. Yeah. Do you
So
remember it?
was it just for one episode?
I think it was just one episode. And then I went away again. And then when I came back, we shaved it again.
You shaved it again. What and
Yeah.
you prefer the shaved look?
I thought the shaved look is great. As you can see
It's
from this
dark.
fabulous. Can you see the fan art on your
Isn't
screen?
that
Is that
beautiful? So where did you pick this? Who gave you this amazing piece
so?
of
Look, to
work?
be honest, Jean might know. I've also got this one here, which is also beautiful. Let me get out of
Oh
the way.
my
Can you see
gosh.
all of that?
This is amazing. Did someone
Yeah.
give it to you at a Comic Con?
Uh, no, because I got it digitally, so I don't have a physical copy of it.
Whoa.
It's a digital copy of fan art, and of course I do have physically. We do the reveal.
Do the reveal. Da, 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 da. Hello.
That,
Hello,
and
baby Stark.
once again, unfortunately, I don't know who made this. There's no, but it's as I
Oh,
understand it, they were handmade.
yeah, I
They're
think
they're
I.
not they're not like my Matrix one, which is really an Agent Smith, but they never made.
Oh, hang on,
How
his
can I do
face is
that?
morphing.
Yeah, there you go.
There's been
Um,
lots of questions, Paul, actually about Matrix. People got quite surprised when they saw you in that. So, and wasn't it? I'm confused. I thought they were shooting Matrix at the same time as we were shooting Farscape. So, how did you wrangle that, or was it a different Matrix?
no, no, they were shooting a different Matrix because there, of course, have been three of them, and
Yeah.
now there's going to be a fourth one, I believe.
Is there?
I believe so. I think they've even been shooting it because I saw something, an interview with Hugo, where he was asked. Somebody told me about this actually. I didn't see it, but he was asked what would he have liked to have been in the fourth Matrix, and he said yes, he would have, but he just wasn't available. So
Oh
I
my
think they
god.
might have shot it. Yeah.
So when we were
So,
in Fox Studios, that was the very first Matrix.
the very
When we were.
first one was in 1998,
Oh,
and
so it was
you guys were
before.
in Fox Studios. Yeah,
We were when because we came on around the same time, didn't we? Because I was at 15.
yeah. We came on at the same time. Yeah.
Yeah.
And did we do that in Fox Studios, or were we
Uh,
already out at Homebush Bay?
we the first season was all Fox, and then we moved out. But we shot a lot of your stuff for the Peacekeeper Planet. Remember down in the tunnels, in the
Yeah, we
eh,
were out in Manly at
yes,
Manly Heads. Yeah, that's
yeah.
right.
Which
Yeah.
is cool because we were actually watching some rescue special ops with the gang the other day too, and someone was like, "Wait, it's the same tunnels." I'm like, "Yes, those tunnels were used for lots of things
Uh,
in movie
Mission,
magic in Australia."
yeah. Mission Impossible was shot there as well. I think there's a whole scene in the tunnels with um with Tom, the Aussie
Oh,
actor.
Ricky Manning has just joined the room, has just
The
popped up.
Ricky.
Hi, Ricky. Hi, beautiful Ricky. He's like, Paul, hi, 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 hi. Well, I'm just jumping over to the chat for a second. Everyone's welcoming Ricky. They were shooting Matrix, Ricky says, 2 and 3 during Farscape filming because they blew up White Bay Power Station while I was there. Oh,
Right.
thank you so much, Tex.
Thanks,
Uh,
Ricky.
you can't see this because you're just on Zoom, Paul, but through the chat, people often give donations. So, whatever donations we get, obviously, I'll be sending you half just to give you a heads up. Thank you, Emerald City. Emerald City
Thank you.
is throwing money at us. We love you guys. Thank you very much. You
Thanks.
guys are all. Mwah, mwah, mwah. So, when you got the. Where were you when you got the audition script? Like, how did you get it? How many auditions were there? What was the whole process like?
Right. I'm sure I've told this before that I auditioned for Scorpions. So just winding back a bit, I was doing mostly theatre, and then I got and then I was doing cabaret. I'm going to wind right back. I was doing cabaret, the musical, playing the MC in cabaret. I might fish out a photograph of that.
Ooh.
And uh, and we'd had opening night, and then on the Monday I had this audition for a thing called The Matrix, which I'm not sure if we got the whole script. I think it was probably very hush hush. And but I had watched Bound. I don't know if anybody's seen Bound, but it's their first, the Wachowskis' first movie, which was they'd kind of taken a genre which was your gangster genre and people offending the mafia, the gangsters, and then being on the run. And they twisted it because it was about two women, Jennifer Tilly and the woman out of Showgirls or whatever that legendary disastrous movie was. And one was a leather-clad lesbian, and one was more kind of traditional gangster mole. And they were on the run. And I
Did
thought,
you just say traditional gangster mole?
yes, I did. Yeah, you know the kind of ditzy Jennifer. I don't know if you know Jennifer Tilly, but she had squeaky voice. She did a few Woody Allen movies, and she was really ditzy. And then the other actress was, motorcycle leather wearing, and they were on the run from the mafia. So it was a really, like they did with The Matrix, they took a genre and they were true to it, but then they twisted it slightly. And I thought, wow, they're fascinating as filmmakers. And so that's what made me interested in The Matrix, apart from hearing that it was going to be a huge event. And I opened in cabaret, playing the MC, to great acclaim on the Saturday night. And on the Monday, I was sitting in the casting agent, going for a tiny part in The Matrix, which was the Mr. Anderson's boss, Neo's boss, who fires him. And a colleague of mine, David Wenham, who's a brilliant actor, and he's with my agent, was there going for an agent. And they were running 45 minutes late. And I was kind of pumped up with the hubris of a successful opening night. And I thought, why don't I get the opportunity to go for one of these? Because we don't look dissimilar. And 45 minutes went by, and this is very rare for me to get pissed off and be a bit
I've never seen you
yes.
in the history of our friendship pissed off ever,
Right.
not once.
There was a time when we did a tour once. You might remember.
Oh, I think
Yeah,
I thought there
I
was
did
that.
call the riot act on that one at one point. That's another story. Anyway, long story short, I thought, damn it, I I want to go for one of the agents, and they've been keeping me waiting. I've just opened successfully in a play. And I went up to them and
I'm
said,
on a
sorry,
roll.
I've got to, yeah, I've got to be somewhere else. And so I basically left the audition. I'm not going in for this role. And then I called my agent, and my agent said, sorry, but Shauna at the casting agent isn't thinking of you in that way. And then 4 days later, my agent called up and said, you got an audition for one of the agents. So if I hadn't stood my ground and gone
Isn't
for
that
something,
interesting?
yeah,
That you've
how
got
different.
balls, because I've never had enough guts to turn down an audition, even though, like, I know if people out there realize how grueling it is, and it's like, it's just heartbreaking, but it's all part of the process, isn't it? And the thing is, you got to remind yourself, look, they want you to get the job, but there's nerves, there's so much preparation that you've done it 50 million times perfectly in the shower, in your home, whatever else, and then you get there on the day, they make you wait for sometimes hours, and then all of a sudden you're in the room. In America, at least in Australia, they let you usually do like a quick rehearsal or a quick line run through with the reader, whereas in America you almost walk into the room and the camera's rolling, and you go to shake their hand and they're like, oh no, we don't shake hands, and then I go, oh well, here's my resume, and they go, oh no, we don't need the resume. So you're already kind of a bit skew if when they
The power imbalance is so huge.
yes, and
You just feel like a little
yeah,
speck.
yes, I do, and it's so because you go and they're like, I got this, please can I have this?
Yeah, yeah. But
So
as I understand it, at least in America, the first time you go for something, you can read it, and they're just shortlisting you out of, you can have the script in your hand. With Australia,
Some people do, and some people say it's
Right.
better to go in with the script in hand. But I think I'm like you, Paul. I'm like, well, I get into character, and then I'm caught halfway in between if I have a
Yeah,
script in my, you know what I mean? It's that weird kind of, well, now how can
yeah,
I be the character if I'm not? So it's a very different process over here, though. So you
yeah.
said you went to the Matrix interview, you
So,
waited, and you're like, screw this, I'm not going to do
yeah.
it. Then they called you back up to have a
And
major
they
role.
said, yeah, okay, we'll look at you for the other role. And I suppose I'm saying that because that was pivotal. Because if I hadn't done that, I wouldn't have been in Farscape.
Yes. Oh,
Yeah.
I see. Wait, so
Because I don't think, yeah, because that really helped put my name out there more, and it made Justin. Yeah, I'll get to the audition in a second, but yeah, so I got the Matrix, and then Hugo, who'd been training, he'd been doing martial arts in LA with Keanu and those martial arts experts from Hong Kong, and they pushed him too far, and he injured himself.
oh
And
my
then there was
God.
talk about whether Hugo would actually be able to do it. And I was thinking, my being in the Matrix is contingent on me looking like whoever's playing Agent Smith. If they go a different way with Agent Smith, if Hugo can't do it and they get an actor with dark hair, then I'm out. So for like 3 months, I was just hoping and praying Hugo would
Oh,
cover,
sickening.
and he did.
Good
Yeah.
job, Hugo.
And
uh,
then I dovetailed the Matrix with Holy Smoke, a Jane Campion film.
Man, you're
Um,
on fire.
It was going well, yeah. And that was Kate Winslet. I was playing Kate Winslet's brother. And the
Oh.
Wachowskis and the producer were wonderful in letting me leave the Matrix a little bit early. So there's one scene in the Matrix where it's not me, it's another actor they brought in, somewhat at a distance. I look at it and I go, yeah, that's not me. Um, yeah. So
do we know what, are we allowed to know the scene?
that's that's me.
I was like, that's
Um,
you, isn't it?
Look, that's me. Yes. Can you see but the edges on your screen? I don't know what you
Yeah,
can see.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, we can see.
yeah.
We can see.
So I did
I'll
Holy
move you over a
Smoke,
bit.
and then I wanted to move to the country, and I thought I don't need to be in the city to do theatre, so I can finally move to the country. So I went to you'll know Berry, which is to
Mm.
people in America. It's a beautiful, lush, green, verdant area, which is all about cattle and dairy farming, and it was like where I grew up in Devon, in England. So I moved there, turned down theatre, decided to focus on music and try and get some more film or TV work. And then Justin, who went through Justin Monjo, one of the writers, of course, he was a year behind me at NIDA, our National Institute of Dramatic Art, where Anthony went and I went. And so he knew me, and there was a role called Scorpius. I auditioned for that role, didn't get it, but then in the same episode that I think Scorpius was introduced in that episode, pretty sure there was another character called Stark, and Justin suggested me. And so I didn't audition for Stark, they just gave me that role. So
You lucky.
yeah, well, I would have been even luckier if I got Scorpius, though
Oh.
no one could eclipse Wayne as Scorpius. I
So
think Scorpius is one of the all-time great screen villains, film or TV.
quite an extraordinary look. Like the
Extraordinary
whole
looking,
energy,
beautiful,
the
yes, and the
yeah.
intelligent performance he gave with that character. He wasn't just one-dimensional evil. And this is
No.
kudos to the writers to give such depth to that character and
I
to make
like
him so creepy and cold
yeah.
and
And
lizard.
how he was so like calm a lot of the time. He just
Yes.
like, and you know, lots of people play evil characters like, you know, and he was
Yeah.
just kind of simmering the whole
Yeah.
time. Very clever.
Very clever.
So we've got lots of questions pouring in. Captain wants to know: is this true? Were you a acting coach on a model show?
Australia's top model, yeah.
Australia. What? When was it? How did I miss this?
I
This.
hello. Is that Jed?
Oh, he's popping his head out. Hi. Oh, this is our little girl right now. She's passed out.
Oh, how cool.
In all
Yes.
her toys. She's like, I'm exhausted.
Oh, that's beautiful.
So
Um,
when did that happen?
Because I started teaching pretty much when I got out of drama school, and I did it on and off for years, and it came through my agent. I think they were looking at somebody to coach Jodie Mears, who was Kerry Packer's, not Kerry Packer, his son, the other Packer. She was
Right.
married to him anyway. So she was a kind of a celebrity model, and she was one of the hosts on Australia's Top Model. And she
Uh,
needed a bit of coaching. So I coached
oh,
her, and then they invited me on to do a session with the girls on the
oh,
show.
really? So what did you
Yeah.
have to do?
Oh, we ran through. It was in an old church, which is an acting school, and we ran through all kinds of exercises about connecting with emotions. I think it was kind. It wasn't teaching them how to act so that they could be good on camera. It really was an episode. Okay, here
Right.
the girls go and and get some acting teaching.
Were they any good?
Look, some of them were. It was interesting. The one who eventually won, who they were really worried about, and they were worried about her on the day, as I recall, thinking she wasn't very good. She was the one I was thinking there's something about her.
There's something there.
Yeah. But of course, acting is so different to modeling. I remember
Yeah.
coaching another woman who she was a young woman, and she was the face of Bulgari at the time. And they were hoping that she'd be good enough to get this role in a new film with Russell Crowe and Nicole Kidman. And she was extraordinary looking. But once she started animating,
Not
she
so good.
lost that beauty. Yeah. She
Yeah,
eventually went
interesting.
on to do Vikings, and she was fantastic, 10 years
Ah,
later.
yeah.
But what can look beautiful in repose doesn't necessarily look good when it's animated. And
Yeah,
likewise,
yeah.
some great actors aren't particularly photogenic, but when they start acting and their essence and their soul comes out and they're alive, that
Yeah.
that is beautiful.
Yeah. I always found it intriguing that I could never quite figure out why, and not with, I'm not saying this with any disrespect, but I could never understand why models were paid so much in comparison to actors. I was like, wish I could be a model. Because I was dating this guy at the same time in Farscape days, and he was a model, and he would, work for an hour and got what I got in a week. You know what I mean? Like they were raking it in. I'm like, you didn't even have to talk. And
Right.
then I said to one of my friends is is a site manager here in Hollywood, so he looks after the nice properties while the talent come and film there. So they had Scarlett Johansson come and film like a perfume ad or a coffee ad or something, and the rumor on the set, and it was probably a rumor, is that she was paid $8 million. And he goes, "Isn't that amazing? Wouldn't that be good for this commercial?" I was like, $8 million. And he goes, "Yeah," and she didn't even have to speak. So I came home and I said to Jed, "Oh, Scarlett Johansson got paid $8 million for one day and she didn't even have to speak." And he goes, "I'd pay you $8 million for one day if you shut up." I'm like, "Oh, okay."
Right.
We've got lots and lots of questions. So
I'm
Paul,
going to go to San Francisco.
oh yes, oh hello San Fran, San
That is San Francisco,
Francisco.
isn't it? That's the Golden
Yep,
Gate.
that's the
Yeah.
Golden Gate
We
Bridge.
have people in San Francisco.
Have we got some San Franciscans popping in? We do have a question here from
Okay.
Brave Salts. He says, Paul, thank you for being here. I would like to ask for a potential Farscape revival. What direction would you take Stark? Would Stark be as more of a mediator, similar to Zan, now that he has newfound peace from the conclusion of Peacekeeper Wars?
I
Good question.
think, just off the top of my head, I think it would be good if Stark had really got his shit together, and um and I didn't have to do too much crazy stuff, but I'd still like to go off the deep end at some point. um i, I think that his gift, if you like, which was abused by Scorpius and the people who had enslaved him, was his ability to take people's pain. And I think if we and I occasionally did that. Obviously, I did that in the first 2 episodes with Crichton, but it was very costly. I understood it cost $5,000 every time I took my mask off
Oh,
to do
really?
that effect. So yeah, so those opportunities were few and far between. I imagine that might be a little cheaper now, and maybe I'd like to do some more of that kind of role where I am able to take I'm speaking as if I am Stark.
You are Stark. You're always going
Uh,
to be Stark to
yeah,
us.
that the spiritual dimension, I think, will be nice to explore more. That ability to help heal people will be
Uh,
great. Yeah,
Ricky says that they had such fun writing for Stark because he was so all over the place, and you really got that, and you showed lots of different levels. And he said you're amazing.
Thanks, Nikki. It
I like
was an
Ricky.
amazing opportunity in that regard because it was one of the few characters. I mean, compare it to The Matrix, where I was a piece of code where I had no emotions, and then to go and do that character, particularly in the first 2 episodes, where I went from acting crazy, being tortured, acting crazy, to then helping um, heal Crichton in that, what I think is a lovely scene, where I'm cradling him
It's
and take,
beautiful.
yeah, and that was, um, who was the director?
On that episode,
Uh,
on the
what's
Ricky
his
knows
name?
that was
Uh,
your episode, wasn't it, Ricky? Was
So
it Andrew?
Andrew
Was it
directed one of them, and I forget his name now, but I can see his face. Damn it! Anyway,
Ian?
he just said, he kind of gave me the old less is more, and just I could be really centered. Um, so to go from that extreme, it was fantastic, and to
Uh,
be given the opportunity. Sometimes the writers would just write with his madness, and that
with
was
his madness and take it from
his
there.
madness. I'm not sure if that's the phrase. Ricky can correct me if I'm wrong, but it was, yeah. Occasionally that'd be with his madness. It was kind of shorthand for
Go
go for
nuts.
it. Yeah. And the relationship with Rigel, I loved having. There was a period where I had a special relationship with Rigel.
Rigel was so good because he made us look good. Like, it didn't matter how bad you were, Rigel was always going to be worse, wasn't he?
Yeah,
I
yeah,
said with love.
yeah,
They
yeah.
want to know if you took your mask home with you.
No, I would love to have. I
I
don't
wonder
know.
where that mask is.
Yeah, it's a great show. I did take home the when the mask was revealed and what was underneath was finally revealed. Dave Elsey, who's special effects, makeup,
Creature
special
shop.
effects, and creature shop. Yeah, he was planning something fabulous, and then they brought it forward by like 3 or 4 days,
Oh
and so
no.
he had to whip something up on the day. So he whipped that up, which I thought was beautiful, those kind of veins of purple. And in makeup, I said, "Can I take that home?" So I've got that in a box. It's still kind of
Whoa.
it's shriveling up, but
It's a bit sticky.
yeah, yeah. You know how those prosthetics decay,
Yeah. They got to get
but
a nice scent to them, don't they?
yeah, yes, they do. Yes,
We have to do a big shout out and thanks, Paul, because there's Bradley, Texodo, Emerald City, and Christian have all given us beautiful donations. So huge thank you, guys. Really appreciate it.
you.
And people are cheering and people are subscribing. So we love you very much. Thank you for supporting, guys. So they're all saying my side, your side, your side, of course. And everybody wants to know, what did you sneak home the Matrix glasses, Paul? Did you get away with that?
No, I didn't. They were very fragile glasses, by the way, and they were designed specifically. They brought in an Australian designer to design those glasses, but they were just really glass in these light frames, so they were quite fragile. But what I did bring home was 5 bullets that came out of my gun that I fired at Trinity. So they were blank.
Oh.
So yeah. So I gave one of them to somebody who helped me with my computer one time and saved me many $1,000s, and I engraved it because he was a huge Matrix fan. But I've still got 4 of these bullet shells that I quickly picked up, and I thought, yeah.
No,
So
I can keep them.
Yeah,
You
no
want to
one's.
know? You want to know what you're doing in the revival? Because Ricky's telling us all, Paul. This is great. I'm loving it. Rick Frunium says, Captain Calvin Cat, do you want some spoilers? Stark is in 75 episodes, kills Bracker, eats Rigel, and is the father of Erin's baby. So
Yes.
get ready for that.
Yeah. And obviously not the father of the first baby,
Right?
but
Is it how
yeah,
about
it'll
which
be a
baby are we talking about?
yeah.
So you've been working on a beautiful children's project, yes?
Yes, I have. And there's a bit of artwork we did for it a long time ago.
Thank you, Lizzie,
And
babe.
and I'm sure there'll be a few fans out there who've come to conventions and have heard me talk about it. Yes, it is still the children's project that I was working on 14 years ago. But because of having to earn a living,
What?
and yeah, and being, some people would call it a perfectionist, but I just have this attention to detail, and I've bitten off. I wouldn't say it's more than I can chew because I've been chewing it, but it's a long time masticating this to continue the chewing metaphor, chewing over it, and just what it is it's a musical. It's an oral experience for kids. And so there's 11 songs and there's narration. I narrate it. There are actors, so there's dialogue and there's massive special effects. So it's a kind of magical adventure, if you like, for this young kid and his mother who goes a bit crazy. And uh, and it's taken so much time because I've been doing everything, bringing in people to help me at various stages, but I've been having to learn how to create sound effects, and at every step of the way I've gone, well, how can I do this at the level that I as a kid would appreciate? And so when it came to creating the sound effects, which are very elaborate, I started watching Pixar movies and then turning the image off and listening to them, reading up about the the passion that these people have, these sound designers have for their work, and discovering this artistry behind sound design, which is just, it's beautiful. If you watch something like Wall-E, there's virtually, do you know Wall-E?
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah, there's virtually no dialogue. It's that whole world, apart from the images, is just so beautifully evoked, the emotions, by the sound design. So that the stage I'm in now, I've got 7 chapters done with all the sound effects, and I've got another 5 to go to add the sound effects and just to do the last stage. The songs have been written and produced a long time ago. Yeah.
Uh, Captain wants to know if you've done Shakespeare, and if so, what plays and what are your favourite characters, or what's a Shakespeare that you would like to do?
So I'm going to go to Rehearsal Pictures now.
Oh,
This
perfect.
isn't Shakespeare, but this is the play I did at the end of last
See if
year.
I can squeeze
This
you
is
over. See if I can fit you in more. There you go.
cool.
Thank you, Joanne. Thank you. Joanne, Lizzie, and Az all just gave us beautiful donations too, Paul. Thank you,
Thank
girls. We
you.
really
Thank you.
appreciate it. We can eat, Paul.
Yes.
So what's happening here in this photo?
Shall I answer the Shakespeare question first, and then I'll talk? I just thought this is a theatrical picture.
I love
Um, I did Shakespeare at drama school, and then one play after that, and I've never done Shakespeare again. And when I was at drama school, it felt like I was going to be slotted into being a Shakespearean actor, and I didn't want that to happen. And unfortunately, I think my wish came true a little too strongly, because I would have loved to have done. I have been offered a couple of Shakespeare's, but I haven't ended up doing them. But I did Bottom in Midsummer Night's Dream, and I don't know
it.
if people know that play very well, but Bottom is one of the popular mechanicals who's the acting troupe, and they're craftspeople, and they're simple wood folk who decide they want to put on a play, and Bottom is the one who thinks he can play every character. He's always going, no, I'll play that, and they're
I'll
going,
do that.
yeah, I'll do that. And he's called Bully Bottom, and often he's played as a kind of pushy, yeah, let me take that role, a little narcissistic actor who just wants to play all the roles. But one of my drama teachers said it reminded him of young kids that he taught, who just was so passionate and enthusiastic. And I
I'll do
remember,
it.
yeah, and I remember teaching 5-year-olds, and there was one quiet little Asian Australian girl who just didn't say boo to a goose. There was one little kid who was very theatrical, and then there was one little girl. They'd be sitting in a circle in front of me, and she'd just keep coming up in front of me and going, I'll do the exercise. And she was like 5 years old. And so I kind of based it on that enthusiasm. And that was a magical experience. So I'm happy I did that play, because Midsummer Night's Dream is a beautiful Shakespearean play. And then I did Taming of the Shrew when I got out of NIDA, but otherwise no Shakespeare.
Not, I see. And if you could do, what's one of your favourite Shakespeares that you've seen?
Richard III obviously is a
Ooh.
great character.
Yes.
I yeah, I've never been interested in Hamlet. I did audition for Hamlet a couple of times actually, and when I've watched him, I've always thought, I just wish you'd get on with it. All these people are coming to
Hurry
grief.
up.
Yeah, you can't decide. It's like 2 hours, and you still haven't figured out what to do. It's like pretty bloody obvious.
Come on.
Yeah.
Let's see. Real Red El Bruno says, I taught my 5-year-old my side, your side. And it's really cute hearing her say it where she doesn't really know where it's come from. That would be pretty adorable to see it.
Right.
My side, this little girl going, my side, your side. So tell us more about the production that we see behind you. What's that all
So
about?
this is the first play I've done for a number of years. So this was called Photograph 51, and it was about the discovery of DNA. And particularly it focused on Dr. Rosalind Franklin, who was one of the people involved in the discovery of it. And she did a lot of the mathematics behind it. And she was in King's College in London, but she never received a Nobel Prize, partly because she died at age 38, a few years before the Nobel Prize was awarded. And she died of cancer, and there was speculation that the photography that she did of the protein crystals may have increased the chance of this particular cancer because of the radiation from the photography that they were using. And she was a really tricky character. She was probably on the spectrum, so very hard to work with. And my character was maybe also on the spectrum, so incredibly smart, but their social skills weren't great. So a lot of it was about how they were trying to collaborate and work together, but they just couldn't meet each other, both emotionally and collaboratively. So it was quite intense, and it was an hour, just an hour and a quarter, but all 5 of us were on stage for the entire time.
This is a play that you did recently?
Yeah, so we did it at the end of last year into December at the Melbourne Theatre Company in Melbourne.
Oh, that would have been. So are you Melbourne or Sydney now?
I'm Sydney, so
Okay,
I
got
went
you.
to stay in Melbourne. And do you know Pamela Rabe?
Yes, I do.
Right.
I do know that
She
name.
she's a legendary Australian theatre actor who's also
Yes.
now in a legendary TV series called Wentworth, which I
Yes,
think
Wentworth.
yeah, I don't know if you get it in America, but
Yes, yes, we do. Yes, we do.
right. So she plays, is she the freak? I'm not sure what the name of her character, and she's one of the main characters, Pamela Rabe, and she directed it. And she did a beautiful job of getting together a group of lovely people who really supported each other and worked well together. So it was a lovely experience to have. And to do a play about the kind of the lost story of this female scientist was also meaningful.
I'm just looking through. There's so many questions. I'm trying to keep up with them all. They're like,
I'm glad you
we love
warned me
Paul.
about you looking
Yeah,
away
you're
to the
like,
questions.
why is
Because
she looking
am I
away?
boring, Gigi? To death. Like,
Because I think that some guests, because for everyone in the chat room, Paul is joining us over Zoom, so he's not watching the full chat. So I'm reading the questions to him, and I said to him before we went live, listen, if I'm looking down away from you, it's not because I'm being rude, it's because I'm trying to catch up with all the questions that flood in. It's like do. So what do you prefer? Do you prefer theatre more than film and television,
TV.
or too different to compare? What do Where do you, I mean, there's something amazing about theatre, isn't there? Because it's so, the energy that you get from the audience, and you can't do a second take, and you're right there, and you just have to roll with whatever happens. And if an actor mucks up a line, or if someone makes a funny noise in the audience, or it's very that energy from the theatre is amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, amazing sometimes, yes, particularly when you're having to deal with people coughing and things
Right.
like that.
The chip packet, and you're like,
Oh, somebody
just eat
had
the chips.
this is what, yes, it's unbelievable. So some people still think they're in their own home. We had a situation because it was maybe a 350 seater, and the edge of the stage was like,
Oh my
we
god.
sat on the edge of the stage virtually at times, and you could just reach out and touch people. And one performance, somebody decided that her her toffees were too good to eat alone, so she wanted to share them with her friends. And one of our
Handing down.
actors, yeah, one of our actors just he walked past and he grabbed one just to kind of signal to her, and
Yeah,
that we can see you, we can
we can
hear.
hear you.
Very distracting. I was speaking at the time and I thought, what is going on? And because in theater, like, you've got to stay on the ball, because if
Yes.
you get distracted and you lose your train of thought, you can get off that train and not be able to get on
Yeah,
until the
and go,
next
where the
station.
hell am I?
Yeah, you've got to hop
Scene
in a car,
change.
drive to the next station and hope that you can get on if it slows down enough. If you can't, then it's like, oh no, we're
There were,
lost.
have you done a play at the, is it the stables in King's Cross? That really small. It's
Yeah, I
like
know the
it's
theater, but I had,
tiny.
yeah.
You, I did like a Samantha Lane directed a beautiful play called Psychosis. 445 for something psychosis. It was years ago, and it was so intense. It was only three of us on stage the whole time, and it was only about an hour, just over an hour long, but it was hardcore, and you literally sitting in the audience's lap kind of thing. And we were even to the point where we were on stage when the audience entered. So it was about a lady who'd lost her mind. So that there was the physical body, and then the spiritual body, and then the narrator kind of thing. And it was intense. And so I'd have to lie on the stage while all the people enter the building, and people just don't, because they're out there, they're talking with their friends, they're on their phones, they're munching their chips, they're whatever, walking over the stage that you're literally like lying on to get to the other side to greet. It was such an intense, and you just got to roll with it. That's the cool thing about theatre. You're like, well, you use it, put it into your scene, or don't use it, do something
Yeah.
with it.
Yeah, and when you look out there and you see some people are like asleep, which is not infrequent in theater, people go there, and
Just
once
have a
they're
nap.
sitting down, it's like, oh, yeah.
Nap time.
Um, you just have to go, okay, I'm just doing it for those people who are sitting there looking enthusiastic. Yeah,
We went to Broadway, and I'm all about Broadway because I've been like, love musical theaters and stuff, and so I dragged Jed to all the musicals and stuff, and poor guy, and so I dragged him to Wicked and paid overpriced tickets for to see Wicked because they were last minute, and he just slept the whole way through, and I went, that would have been your most expensive nap that you've ever had, like a $400 nap.
ah,
Just slept. So, Paul, Joe from Toronto wants to know, what was the worst and the best part of playing Stark? Stark lives on in our family as a character name for video games. My side is even said by our kids.
right. So the best and the worst. Wow. Broadly speaking, the best, as I mentioned before, was the opportunity that I had as an actor, and that everybody involved in Farscape had, which is so rare, which is to just go anywhere. The designers, the writers, the actors, every element, you could just flex your skills and your imagination and let it run wild, as opposed to when you're doing something which is really kitchen sink. And I've done a number of things where I'm sitting in a hospital bed or something, or being arrested, really boring, mundane stuff. But this was just, you'd read a script and go, what can I do with this? I might just have a few moments in an episode, but there's something wild and imaginative about the world I'm inhabiting, and you can really let your imagination run wild. I think specifically, that fight that you and I had, while it
Oh
was
yeah.
challenging, because uh, because you need two eyes to have
Yes.
depth of field, and I only had one eye, and so that was a little worrying doing that. But that was John Quixote, wasn't it? That was the
Yeah, that was John
yeah,
Quixote, and you had one eye, and then I only had tunnel vision. So how
right.
we survived that, and how we didn't
Yeah,
kill
we didn't
half the
poke each
crew is
other's
quite.
one good eye out. Yeah. So having that opportunity in that episode too to be mean and to have quite a different character was was really special. Um, and then there's another I loved. There's a scene where Rigel and I are in a spacecraft on our own, and there's that huge big monster that's going to come and swallow us up. And there was just a little moment where I eventually knock Rigel out. I think that's what I do. I'm pretty sure. But it was kind of like a little road movie section,
Yeah,
which
yeah.
me and Rigel on the road
Just
and a bit of
hanging.
repartee between him. And yeah, and working with the puppeteers of Rigel was always a joy.
It's
And treating Rigel, always speaking to Rigel as if he was the character, treating him as if
yes,
he was another actor on set. I know some actors did that and some actors didn't experience him in that way. But I know the puppeteers liked that I could have a conversation with Rigel off set,
yeah.
and they would animate him, and we'd have a conversation
Just
as if
chat
he
away.
just yeah. It
But
was yeah.
it was weird when you see them on the side of set and they're not animated and they don't have a person operating them. It's kind of morbid,
It's
isn't it?
horrible. It
Yeah.
is right when you see Rigel just kind
It's
of
like, ugh,
yeah
in flop
yeah
mode.
yeah.
So Raven Slayer says, is it easy to get into character, easier in performance theatre or TV or movie? As you mentioned in theatre, if you lose your train of thought, it's hard to get back on the train. So what medium do you find easier to get into character and performance?
I think it's more contingent on how well the character's developed and how long you've been with the character. So with Stark, it was very easy. I guess right from the beginning, it was easy to get into that character because he was so kind of well fleshed out on the page. And and then of course, as I came back to it all the time, I knew him so well, and the environment, it was like it really was, and you can attest to this, Gigi, it was kind of like an alternate universe that we
100%.
inhabited for a while, that's still there somewhere, with those people, those characters. So that was easy. With theatre, it's often easy because you've had the whole rehearsal and you developed your character, and then you're doing a run, and so that part of your brain that is being wired up to be that character is there to animate very quickly. Whereas sometimes on film or TV, you've got to turn up and you've got to be the character without any rehearsal. Um, yeah, and then you're done and dusted, and then you move on. So it's more to do with the length of time you have in preparing the character and the amount of time you spend being the character.
When what was the first scene that you had to shoot, and how did you feel walking onto that set? Because it truly is otherworldly, isn't it? You can't. It's hard to compare it to anything. What was your first scene that you had to shoot?
It's so long ago that I could be wrong about this, but I'm pretty sure it was the location stuff and it was the my side, your stuff, my side, your side
Yeah, yeah.
stuff. So it just, in that scene, I could go from just going hell for leather, which is a gift to an actor because if you're nervous and you've got adrenaline pumping through you
Yes.
and you're having to do, like, the worst thing would be playing a love scene with somebody you've never met before and having to be relaxed and intimate and present. That would be so hard with adrenaline pumping through your system. Whereas for me, I could let all that adrenaline out with that my side your stuff, which I looked at recently, and it is pretty extreme. Um, and being on location is always good too. So it was quite a gift to do that straight up. And then meeting Ben, and Ben was beautiful and really, he was wonderful to work with straight up.
I love that scene with you guys. It's like it's in your first episode, I believe, where
Yeah.
just come out of the chair and you're both in it, and you realize you are actually trying to escape, and it's so beautiful.
And their
Like I've
madness
been
is an act. Yeah.
Yes. I've been rewatching it, and I'm so surprised how amazing it still holds up really well. The computer graphics are fantastic.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Galaxy. Also, we needed to thank Mathman, Matthew, Storm, and Sci-Fi Scott, and Az and Lizzie. They've given us more donations, so a huge thank you. Sorry for interrupting, Paul, but I like to give the
Thank
shout
you. Thank
outs.
you.
You guys are amazing. So what's next for you? What's next for you?
Have I
You
put this one
realize?
up yet?
Oh no, that's us in the
That's
Peacekeeper
us.
Wars! Yay! Hey, you know, Paul, that it's on Amazon Prime, and you have to tell all your friends and family to watch it on repeat because they're keeping an eye on it to see how much interest there is for creating a new
Right.
series. So, do you have Amazon Prime?
I do. Yeah, yeah.
Well, you can sit back and watch yourself now.
My aunt, who's 94, she moved back from the Gold Coast in Australia back to the UK, and she got herself an 87-year-old boyfriend who turned out to be a Farscape fan, which I
So he's
thought
like,
was
what? You don't.
fantastic. Yeah, they have Amazon Prime back over
Yes.
there. So yeah,
Good. We'll tell
not
them to watch it on repeat.
yeah.
So, what's happening? What's next on your journey once we all are allowed to escape and tiptoe through the tulips?
So I'm trying to do 40 hours a week on my kids project, which is a little bit challenging because I do work like Anthony does. I don't know if he talks about his work in with learning and development. So yesterday I was doing a workshop. So what I do is I use acting in in the corporate sphere in learning and development, helping leaders be better leaders, helping them have better conversations. So I improvise. Often we'll have a scenario where I'm a poor performing worker who previously, let's say, was performing really well, and something's gone wrong, and they have to have a conversation about that. And so often, what's fantastic is I'm often playing the person who doesn't have to be their best. So I can be difficult, a pain in the ass, whatever. And so that's what we do, and we're now doing it online. So I was doing it in Singapore with people in Singapore for Woolworths
Oh
yesterday.
wow! Oh
Yeah, and
wow!
next week doing it with another company here in Australia. So using Zoom often.
Uh,
Uh,
we've got a very cool question. So they would like to know what's the last role, the one that after you've played it, you went, okay, that was my most perfect work. That cannot be topped. I'm out of here. No,
um,
no pressure. It's a
yeah.
good question. I'm like, oh,
I think the roles where I've gone in theatre, where I've gone, that was fantastic to do, and I feel really proud, and I feel um, like I nailed the character. One thing happens when you leave the play. It's there's a bit of grief to do with letting that person go. Does that make sense to you? It's
yes.
like letting Chiana go. It's like yeah, and it was the same with Stark. It was, even though his life was often a little tortured, there's a grief about letting that part of my brain go and not being able to not be him, but be with him again, if you like. In terms of it was, I guess, doing Matrix, Holy Smoke, and Farscape, and some of the last plays I did enabled me to be philosophical about what happened to our film industry, kind of after Farscape and the Matrix, where the Australian dollar was like 50 cents to the 48 cents to the US dollar when Matrix was happening. So there was a massive amount of American production coming over to Australia. That turned around, the Australian dollar went up, it got to parity eventually, and so our industry somewhat collapsed. And I looked at colleagues, and particularly people who the Sparkies, the electricians in film and television, when they started selling their trucks, and they're the last to get out of the industry,
Mm,
when they started selling their trucks um, and all their equipment, and you go, we're in dire straits. So that it was Farscape and the Matrix and what have you made me go, okay, if I'm going to have to switch careers to a degree, then I feel to have worked with the Muppets, because when I was a kid, that was a dream, was to be a Muppet. And
To
I
be
know
a
they're not.
Muppet?
Yeah, to be
When I
Grover.
grow up, I want to be a Muppet.
Yeah, yeah. I just thought they were just their timing, their comedy. And I used to come home from school, even when I was 14, and I'd put on Sesame Street to watch the Muppets on Sesame Street. So to work with Brian and to work with Jim Henson's company was an absolute dream come true. And to work with creatures that have come out of that long history was an absolute dream come true. So I felt I'm happy, and to have done the work that we all did on Farscape, and to go that's going to last.
Yeah,
To
I'm
go
with
to a
you.
convention and meet some of the people from Lost in Space, the
Right?
original
Because we've
60s.
done. Sorry, we've done lots together, haven't we? So we've had some pretty cool adventures that we never ever would have had, and I we're so thankful to everyone that's come in today and everyone that supported us along the way, because we wouldn't exist unless it was for all the guys in the chat room and all the people that have loved and shared the journey of Farscape with us. Like, what have you had, like a standout moment when you've met a fan one on one that you've gone, whoa? I mean, they're all pretty extraordinary, aren't they? But can you tell us about an amazing fan
Yeah,
moment?
it's amazing. They It was such a gift to have the opportunity to go and do all these conventions and to meet the fans in person. Um, there was one moment where you're sitting signing autographs and there's queues of people, and then I was signing away, somebody handed me something, I signed up, and then I looked up, and there was somebody, and she was dressed in the full Stark outfit, and that's where the mask went. I think at least one of them, there was a couple of masks, and she had bought in the auction the Stark outfit, which was, on the one hand, it was like quite freaky, because there was
There you
my
were.
character, yeah. But on the other hand, it was beautiful to see somebody that passionate about the character to spend that money and to dress up. Yeah, it was lovely.
You're getting lots of requests to say the line. I don't know if you're allowed to or not, but everyone wants to hear my side, your side.
Right, my side, your side. I suppose you want it.
Of course, they want it.
They wanted a little more.
Make them happy.
Okay, my side, your side. I don't know. Did you see that?
I love that. That makes me so happy. I like full sense memory flashback. This is so cool. We love you, Paul. Where can people find you? Are you on social media? How can they follow you? Are you still doing music? Weren't you
Well,
doing
this kids project, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's it at the moment. That's another reason I want to get it finished, is so I can get back to writing, because
Yes.
yeah.
But you were
Um,
singing. You had a CD
I
in
did
the
an
early days,
album,
right? You
yeah,
did. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
So how can people? So how can they support you or follow you, and where do they find you?
Uh, Maybe I can get back in touch with you
Okay.
when I've got some teasers of the kids
Yes.
project.
Come back
That'll be
on and we'll do another session, because
that
everyone can't get enough of you. They're all going nuts in the chat room going, we love you, Stark.
that'll
We
be
love
great.
you,
And
Paul.
maybe we can figure out how to, as we just to let everybody know, we were trying to put up some of the stuff I was working on,
Yeah.
but it was a little bit challenging. Maybe we can work that out, or
And
I
we'll
can
do
send
some.
you some stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And it's some months away, particularly if I don't manage to get my 40 hours each week. But that's my next project.
Are
And
you
yeah,
on Instagram or Twitter or Facebook or anything like that? You don't have any
I'm
fan
not. I
stuff?
was once on Facebook, and it got hacked by somebody who was claiming to be me in Indonesia,
Of
and they
course.
had their wallets stolen, and they were begging my friends.
Oh, well, everyone
Yeah,
says your children's book, it looks beautiful. The artwork looks beautiful. They want to see more. They want to hear more, and they're sending lots and lots of love. So it
right.
just looks amazing.
Lots of love to you, Gigi, and lots of love to all those fans out there. And thank you for the 2 decades of support for Farscape, and for me. Every time I've met you guys at conventions, it's always been a joy. And it's just a shame so far away. There was one thing that happened at the end of last year that I was invited to that I couldn't make because of the play. Yeah, it's so you're so far away, and of course now we can't leave our country.
We will soon. Don't you say
Yeah,
that. Don't you? We will see each other again. We will. On set. Yes.
we will. Yeah,
I love you, Paul. Have an amazing day. Thank you so much for coming onto the show, and we would love to have you back, and we'd love to hear and see more, please.
thanks. Okay,
All right.
do you turn me off
Bye.
or I'll go
I'm
by?
gonna I'm gonna you say bye, and then I'm gonna serenade these guys for a little bit, but you don't have to stick
Beautiful.
around for all that jazz. All
I'm
that
gonna go.
jazz. Bye,
Bye.
Paul. Bye. Oh my gosh, we love you, Paul. My side, your side, my side, your side. Oh, I miss him so much. He is the best. We have to get him to do an Instagram account or something so we can all watch him, because I want to see his adventures. Thank you so much for coming in today, guys. What a very, very special occasion. I want to thank you because you guys have inspired me to reconnect with all the Farscape family. You guys are beautiful actors, a beautiful crew of Moya. I'm very, very thankful. You're amazing. So we've got lots of very special things happening. I'm going to give you a little bit of a song, but first of all, I wanted to thank everyone again for their amazing donations. I'll be giving Paul half of that. Your subscriptions, your follows, it means the world to me. You're just amazing. Thank you. I wanted to let you know for next week. Oh, you're already onto it, aren't you, Doctor? Next week we have someone very special joining us. I gave you a clue. I believe I said, what was the clue? So make sure I don't muck it up. I believe I said their name had an O in either the beginning or the last name, first or last name. So can I get a drum roll, please? Bigger drum roll, whoa, bigger drum roll than that. What was the question? Just kidding. So next Thursday we will be having the awesome Rockney O'Bannon, the creator, one of the beautiful creators of Farscape, will be joining us. He also has created so many other extraordinary productions. We'll be talking about all of them. Rockney, yay! And I'm a huge fan of his. I'm stalking him all last year, saying, come to this convention, come to that convention. Everybody wants to see you. Everyone wants to meet you. Everyone wants to hang out with you. So I'm so stoked because he's very busy at the moment working on Evil. So he's allowing me to steal an hour of his time, or allowing us to steal an hour of his time. So have all your questions primed, and we'll have to let him know how much we love and adore him and his beautiful Farscape, his and Brian's beautiful Farscape. So there you go. You're welcome. Very special. And we do, of course, all the guests that have come on have just, had a chance actually afterwards to watch the episode, because a lot of these guys are coming in from Australia, so they can't see the chat at the same time. So then I send them the link to the chat and they can see all the comments, and they're like, oh, we want to come back on again and hang out again. And so this is very cool. It's really reconnecting our beautiful family. So I'm very appreciative. Thank you, guys. So that's next Thursday. Tomorrow is a dealer's choice. It is the audience choice, and we believe, I believe we decided that we would actually watch Nobody Knows, which is a film that is here. I'm going to actually play a little trailer for you. You can watch it we'll watch it tomorrow together on YouTube, but here's the teaser, okay? Do 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 do. Here's the little teaser.
Haven't you ever felt something that made you feel worlds away, that got at you, that ripped you to shreds, so much so that you were forced to go to the precipice and wonder, where do I go from here?
So that's the little sneaky teaser that we have, and we will be watching that tomorrow, and I'll be talking through it, and it's actually kind of cool because it actually has...
I'm Gigi Edgley. I play Tiana on Farscape.
That was like from one of the... I'm a baby. I'm like, So I will be watching Nobody Knows. So you can tune into... It's on my YouTube channel, which is... If you just type in Gigi Edgley YouTube, you'll see it there. And then at the end of Friday, we have... I do a little yoga session because I think we need to... There was actually a big meditation today, guys. And it was a universal meditation that I did at 11 o'clock LA time to transform fear into love and to send love out to everybody and healing to beautiful Mother Earth and the universe to get us back on the right track again. So tomorrow at the end of the session, we'll be watching Nobody Knows, and then we're going to do a little 10-minute yoga session, which is really easy. You can watch and laugh or eat your popcorn, or you can join in, and I just like it because I love yoga. It's a new thing that I'm introducing because I want to show you guys a lot of what I really dig and things that are fun for me to do. And then on Saturday, we'll be watching Home of the Remains, right? Is that right, Texodo? I believe so. Which is, yes, Home on the Remains. Ew, gross. The Budong episode. And I get a new outfit for that one, I believe. Can we do laughing yoga? Yes, well, you laugh anyway at me when I do yoga, Captain. So another cool thing that we're doing tomorrow, and I'm going to pop over here, at the moment is Zoom. We hang out and I get to see your face, and I really like it because I've been in isolation since March where did it go? I've been in isolation since March the 12th, and I'm desperate to see faces. So come and hang out with me on Zoom, will ya? I keep deleting the link. Here is the link. The Zoom session is tomorrow at 6:15, and we're going to we hang out there for an hour and we talk about the show, and you guys give me your thoughts on life, and it's really cool. I just put the link there in the bottom of the chat, so you can pick up your tickets there, and all the dollars go to the Feed the Baby Fund, so I'm very appreciative. Thank you a million times. Thank you, guys. I'm just going to pop you over here. This is my website. It's gigiedgley.com. It has links to Patreon, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, all the fun stuff. And because I can't see you in the flesh right at this moment, flesh seer, then I put a shop on my site, so you can pick up beautiful photographs that of course I'll autograph and personalize for you. And my music is here on a USB. I also have my CD here. Star Trek Continues, lots of cool posters from the Wonderland Tour, which is a tour that my brother and I did last year and the year before. So you can check that out. Also on this website is a link to the Wonderland Tour, which we will be doing again next year. Just here, Gigi and Jake Edgley's Wonderland Tour. It's a complete fan-run tour, and we literally travelled all around the world to people's backyards, lounge rooms, comic cons, nightclubs, music venues, and we were almost in a different town every night doing a show, and that was all because you guys gave us suggestions where to go on social media. So thank you for that. And if you do have suggestions for next year, please contact us through that little page. All right, let me see. Okay, now I'm going to sing for you a little tune. All right, thank you guys. Love you very, very much. Here we go. Do, 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 diddly do. Hello, hello, hello. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Hello, hello, hello. Hello, hello, hello. Sorry that I got my air conditioning on today because it's so hot. Hello, 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 hello. Hang on a sec. There you go. Hello.
You lift my heart up when the rest of me is down. You enchant me even when you're not around. If there are boundaries, I will try to knock them down. I'm latching on, babe. Now I know what I have found. I feel we're close enough. Wanna lock in your love. I think we're close enough. Could I lock in your love? Could I lock in your love? Could I lock in your love? Could I lock in your love, baby? Now I've got you in my space. I won't let go of you. Got you shackled in my embrace. I'm latching on to you. Now I've got you in my space. I won't let go of you. Got you captured in my embrace. I'm latching on to you. I'm latching on to you. Latching on to you. Now I've got you in my space. Won't let go of you. Got you captured in my embrace. Latching on to you. Latching, latching, latching on to you. I feel we're close enough. Wanna lock in your love, baby. I feel we're close enough. Can I lock in your love, baby? I'm so encaptured, got me wrapped up in your touch. Feel so enamored, hold me tight now in your clutch. How do you do it? Got me losing every breath. What did you do? Make my heart beat up my chest. Make my heart, 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 make my heart beat out my chest. Make my heart, make my heart, make my heart beat out my chest. Make my heart. I feel we're close enough. we're close enough, baby. Can I lock in your love? Now I've got you in my space. I won't let go of you. Got you captured in my embrace. I'm latching onto you. I feel we're close enough. Wanna lock in your love. I feel we're close. Feel we're close. Feel we're close enough.
Love you guys. Thank you so much for coming on by. I'll see you tomorrow to watch beautiful Nobody Knows. And please spread the word far and near about Rockney joining us on Thursday. It's going to be amazing. I'm so honored that he will be joining our Twitch family. Sending lots of love to you all. Please share with your family and friends. Beautiful Farscape on Amazon Prime. Let's get this show back. And if you've enjoyed today, share the love. It's a really amazing place to hang out. You guys have brought me lots and lots of amazing energy, and I am forever thankful to you. I'm going to leave you with a little tune. This is a music video to one of my original songs. It's called Closer. I'll see you guys tomorrow, 5 p.m. Lots of love. Bye.
Bruised lips and electric kisses, dark smiles, long awaited wishes. Come a little closer, boy, and melt into me. I've roamed the world, seen 1,000 glimpses. With slow touch, I could be your missus. Come a little closer, boy, and fall into me. I'll be the best that you've ever tasted. So how long you gonna keep me waiting? Come a little closer, boy, and give it to me. Waking up from a long night's sleep, and I'm falling. I keep falling back to the dream where it's you and me. Leaves me haunted, leaves me haunted. I don't know what it is you do to me. I surrender, take your victory. Closer, you're getting closer to my heart. Be my moon, come traveling distance. Wrap me up with no resistance. There's beauty when our stars collide, so crash into me. I'll be the best that you've ever tasted. So how long you gonna keep me waiting? Come a little closer, boy, and give it to me. Waking up from a long night's sleep, and I'm falling. I keep falling back to the dream where it's you and me. Leaves me haunted, leaves me haunted. I don't know what it is you You're getting closer.